You know what? You're happy to watch. Thank you for this. I don't know.
All right, we're live. We should be live.
Okay, let's have a look, shall we? I hope we're live. It would, you know.
Yes, we are.
Hello, everyone. Can they see us?
They
It's
should.
still on fan
Again.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Take number 2. Thank you for coming
There we
along. Thank you for putting up with things called technical difficulties. It's a thing that we all have, especially at the worst times. My name is Saul.
Wouldn't
You
be
might
this
know me.
cast without him.
Yep.
You might know me from this cast, different casts, your local shop. You know, I'm just a guy. But who's this next to me?
This guy next to you is Josh Scorcher, Fiery Joker. He the lead host and project manager of Triple F, and also biggest shill for Glitch Energy. Use code Josh Scorcher at checkout to get 30 to 40% off your order. And if you happen to do an order before July 25th, you'll enter a raffle to possibly win a chair or a Nintendo Switch 2. Flavor of the day is watermelon, as voted on by our lovely people here.
Speaking of my lovely people here, who's that next to Josh?
Hi. I already did introduction with the last try at this, but hi, I'm Wagonworks. I do YouTube stuff sometimes when I don't have a fucking summer job conflicting with that. I also am the assistant casting director and co-host for Fan Battle.
Woo!
Someone just mentioned in chat. Oh, you're the host of Fan Battle.
The other host, yeah.
Yeah, I literally, funny that I get recognized on that now, yeah.
And who's this? Well, I guess technically not the last person, but the last person on our jury for today.
It is I, Rand. I am one of the kind of newest members of just debating and jurying on cast, but I've just been doing things behind the scenes. But y'all will be seeing me a whole lot more for the rest of this year, and probably the rest of this month.
And you know what? You've been a really big help. Go on, introduce yourself, Ghost of Christmas Past.
Okay, fine. What's up? I'm the Crack Agent. I'm streaming. I'm the emergency streamer, just here to help.
He is the emergency streamer because British Wi-Fi sucks. I don't think I need to tell you that. But today we are doing a very fun one. Kefka, I hope I'm saying that right, from Final Fantasy versus Loki from Marvel. We're gonna have me representing Loki and Josh representing Kefka. I did see someone mention, are we going to include God of Stories? Well, we are going to talk about it, but it's not really going to be the focus for this debate.
Yeah. Also, I like how your profile picture is now from Loki to Tenna.
I had to make the switch very quickly. Who wants to go first? Josh, did you want to, or do you want me to go first?
I guess I could go first.
Cool. Up, that's me. That's you.
There we go.
Screen
There
is
we go.
yours, and I guess you just start your 60 seconds whenever. I will count to 60, but unless, well, our host will probably do something.
Well, the video should be available, right?
All right.
Hold on, I got it. Timer.
See?
All right. You got a timer?
Yeah,
All right.
go.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about Kefka Palazzo. Man so twisted, so powerful, he did what most villains only dream of. He won. He was the first experimental Magitech Knight, failed prototype, and because of that, his mind shattered in the process, but that fracture gave birth to Madness Incarnate. Unlike Loki, whose schemes often fall apart due to his ego or sentimentality or just extreme tunnel vision, Kefka has no illusions of grandeur. He wants to see the world burn, and he does. He manipulates empires, kills gods, and ultimately becomes one himself. As the god of magic, Kefka can warp reality at will, can destroy the world with his immense power, and maintains complete control over life, death, and the very laws of nature. Now, Loki may be a trickster, but tricks mean very, very little when you don't know how to use them optimally. In the end, Kefka didn't
5
just
more
outsmart the world, he rewrote it.
Boom.
Boom, with 6 seconds to spare.
Wow.
All right.
Interesting. Oh, this has worked out quite perfectly. Did I say so?
All right.
Give me the go ahead.
All right. Get going.
Okay, Loki. We all pretty much know Loki, but I'll give the brief backstory. Odin, you might know him. He's a bit of a dick. Found Loki, took him from the evil frost babies, and raised him as his own. Loki is an insanely powerful trickster in Marvel who scales a lot higher than you might initially believe, with enough haxes to make anyone in Final Fantasy jealous. Loki is a schemer, a trickster, and has fooled the best minds in Marvel. He has fought everyone from his own brother Thor to even magical users like Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. Loki's powers are completely out of this world, and with the amount of haxa he has, I don't think Kefka will be able to keep up. Now, has Loki failed? Well, yes, obviously. He has failed numerous times, but he is still a schemer and trickster and has won on several occasions, and has even outsmarted people smarter than himself at times, such as Doctor Doom or even
5
his father,
seconds.
Odin. Yeah, and also Loki could change gender. Woo!
Hell yeah.
All right.
Let's, oh, I like this.
We're all so close together.
Okay, fine. We can all be together.
Aw.
What the fuck?
Aw.
So, it will be your job, people at home, to eventually vote on who you think wins, but also our jury today. Speaking of the jury, where would you want us to start with these two?
Let's just mention God of Stories, Loki. Just get that out of the way really quickly.
You want
Yeah,
me to get
just because
God
I
of
know that we
Stories?
already have someone asking about it.
Yeah.
I think we might as well just rip the bandage off now. It's not going to factor into anything, but like,
Yeah, we have like
just,
3 people.
just so we
asking
can
for
like
it.
move past it.
Yeah.
Okay, so God of Stories. Yeah, it's kind of complicated to explain, but basically, it's also happened in the MCU, funny enough. But Loki basically becomes again the God of Stories. You know, Loki basically with this power, which was given in Agent of Asgard. The narrative unfolds in like a very specific sequence of events, but what you need to know is that he becomes like such high in a position that he's able to perceive, manipulate, and rewrite the entire narrative of Marvel, which is insane when you realize how many people are in there. He's trapped people in stories, which he's like an entire multiverse. We just don't think it would be a very fun debate going, here's this high outer Marvel character.
Yeah.
We want to give Loki a challenge, and honestly, Kefka a chance, because I don't think Outerversal Marvel will.
Yeah.
Out of
Provide
Versal
much of a
involves
challenge.
all meaning.
Yeah.
It really is kind of sad just how like at first Outerversal was just kind of like this very vague thing that nobody really talked about. And then all of a sudden, like Outerversal just kept popping up like daisies. Like, what happened?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
makes at least for
I
at
still,
least- you go
I
on.
still love, I still love the fact. Like personally, I just refer to anything above multi as fuck off Versal.
Yeah.
I refer
Yeah.
to everything above Universal as bullshit.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
far my scale it goes. Well, we're
But,
past the
like I
universe.
said,
Yeah,
I don't
and
really want
doing
to hang
research-
on this for too
Yeah,
long.
and doing research for Starfire versus Blaze, I have seen arguments for Sonic characters being Outerversal. I'm like, I see the argument, but that argument ignores a lot of context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God of Stories just kind of has to say where it's like, fuck you, I'm above the narrative. And that's not fun. You know, even if you would probably use God of Stories for the matchup, a big thing of Fan Battle Cast is to, you know, have fun and have a debate
Still.
here. What version
Still,
of Comic Loki are we using? We're using the mainline kind of 616
Yeah.
version.
yeah, still, there is one thing. Like, this was actually a question that was posed to me, like when I was on the Triple F server when I was talking about potential matchups for Kefka. One of them was Loki,
Mhm.
and They ultimately did not vote in favor of Loki, my guys, but there was a lot of questions. Like one thing that Triple F does is talk about the potential fight's aftermath,
Yeah.
and even though like God of Stories would essentially make this matchup a stomp, I did write an aftermath scene for this potential matchup, and I really fell in love with this idea. So basically, how the battle would actually end was basically they do the fight, but then it just closes on Loki just closing the book on the fight and just putting in going to put on his book. I'm like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
But then in the aftermath, he doesn't fully put it away. He stops. Then he just pulls the book back out, and then he's the book titled Kefka Palazzo, and he just starts flipping through it, and he just starts muttering to himself, "What made you what you are?" And then he looks at Kefka's origins and how it was, due to a magic experiment going wrong, and he's like, "Huh." Then he changes the detail of it being a failure to it not shattering his mind.
Okay. Should we get into what these guys are able to do? Because I feel like this is going to be a very long conversation.
Yeah.
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 I was gonna say out of versus stuff real quick. Bugs Bunny could be considered that, and I don't like that he could be.
Bugs Bunny can be considered anything. You're going wrong somewhere. Okay. Do you want to start with telling us what Kefka can do, or would you want me to go first?
I'll go first. But before I get started, am I using Decidia scaling here? Because that makes things very, very different.
Go
I don't
ahead.
like using Decidia scaling. I feel like it makes
Oh,
things.
thank God, another one. Thank you. Thank fucking God.
Bring it. Just bring it up if you want to.
Yeah, because honestly, I would only bring up Decidia scaling if we were going to use God of Stories. But since we're not using God of Stories, okay, I will not bring up Decidia scaling.
Also, if you were really in a hole, you could have brought up the mobile game that Kefka's in. Final Fantasy Game
Please
XPS.
don't. It's like crossover scaling is the worst.
It's not. Yes, you can have Kefka, Sephiroth, and Ariana Grande on a team.
Yeah. So, I guess
Yes.
what can
Yeah.
Kefka do? I'm very interested. I don't know much about this character.
But yes, so in a sense, I'll just start off small and work my way up. Kefka is without scaling to Gilgamesh and without Decidia scaling, he is multiversal.
Huh?
What?
Why are y'all shocked? It's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, just from Final Fantasy VI, Kefka is multiversal.
How so?
All right, so
Yeah, I definitely want to hear this.
Yeah.
Hear where this is gonna go.
Yep.
Okay, so how Final Fantasy VI's world works is there are these creatures called the Espers, which are basically magical beings which are basically beings comprised mostly of magic, and there's like this whole history of like the Great Esper and Great Esper magic war between. It's really complicated, and so there are these three gods called the Warring Triad, and they were essentially warring like for this whole time. But then they realized that if they continued, they would basically destroy all of creation. So they willingly relinquished their powers in order to prevent that from happening. And well, yeah, I do have a lot of screenshots here, but is there any place that I can actually send them?
If you want to sneak them to my DMs, I can put them up on screen.
I don't have your DM.
You have my Discord. I did message you.
All right. Whoop, wrong button. Okay. going to message you. Okay. Beep. Okay.
I got that. I got a beep.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to copy image to this. So this is the gate to the Warring Triad that I just sent to you.
Yeah, no worries. If
I'm
you just
sorry,
wanna
sorry,
talk
sorry.
about-
The gate to the Esper world. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. If you just want to talk about it, I'll get it up on screen now.
All right. And that's the remains of the Warring Triad right there. And here are what the Warring Triad actually looks like.
Okay, I will start putting these up when and as you need them.
All right. So this Warring Triad, they have basically, where is it? Trying to remember how I wanted to argue this. Okay, so long ago, Espers fought humans who were infused with magical power extracted from Espers. And this is the War of the Magi. Fearing that their magical powers would once again become a target, they fashioned a new realm and moved there. So this Esper world is basically a portal to another world. And that this is stated multiple times that this Esper world is another world. And yeah. And the thing, and this Warring Triad, they basically split all their power to the Espers, who fashioned this other world, and so Kefka scales to this Warring Triad because he drained all of their power. I'm going to throw that here. So yeah, basically he drained all their power. Now basically what the plan was in Final Fantasy VI was, okay, so the Warring Triad statue drew his power, right? Okay, well if we blow up the statues, then he'll lose his power. That didn't work. Oh no. The only explanation is that Kefka has drained the statue's power. We're effed. But we still gotta try and beat him. So that's how he essentially becomes the god of magic. He drained the power of these guys who could, on their own, just create universes. That's what makes him multiversal.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, at the very least, he scales to at low end he scales to 2 universes.
Wow.
High end, if you want to take some loose interpretations, he could scale up to 4 or 5.
Well, that's pretty good, but I think Loki might have him beat. Loki, surprisingly, is a very strong fighter. If we want to go based on people who he's fought before, he has one-shot Beta Ray Bill by using a magic blast straight on his brain. And you can see literally, I think that's Thor there being like, he's still breathing, but he's out for the count. That's very basic, but I want to introduce you to everyone's best friend, Dormammu. Hi, Dormammu. So, Loki got pulled into the Dark Dimension place. I'm pretty sure he got pulled in by Dormammu. And Dormammu, you might be able to see that in the third box, says, you do possess powers of evil nearly equal to mine. And that's a bit of a weird statement, equal to evil and stuff. Well, there's a guy, you might know him. His name is Odin. And during a battle in their astral forms, which are just their bodies that are just, it's weird, astral form and their physical form, they should be comparable to each other, but they were literally equal in a fight for some time and even taking blasts from each other. Odin is comparable to other characters like Mephisto and Galactus, who were stated to threat the entire omniverse of Marvel. Oh boy, we are already there. And this is actually pretty consistent with the what we've seen people for Loki fight before, you know? Obviously, he's capable of fighting people like Thor, And even he's able to fight an early version of Doctor Strange. And he was stated, and this is classic Strange, so this is when Strange is on crack, right? Stated to like threaten the universe and stuff. You can see that even his spells are struggling against him, and his power is beyond human comprehension. So I think that blatantly puts him anywhere from multi to like I'd say multi-level. I'm not going to push outer stuff, but entire omniverse threat. On the astral forms, they're spiritual souls, yes, but it gets kind of weird with Asgardians because they're capable of weaponizing this stuff and using their powers. There might be another thing I could bring up, but this is him fighting Thor, so you can see that kind of physical skin for Thor. Which I'm very surprised Loki's a lot more able to throw hands than you'd first expect from this trickster. But you know what? Good on him.
Is Loki holding Mjolnir in that one panel?
He has wielded Mjolnir like a little bit, but obviously we're not going to give him Mjolnir for this.
I was just surprised that he's even worthy to wield Mjolnir.
Isn't Mjolnir
worthy
in the
to
comics just really heavy?
No. It's a weird thing. We can also like. I just want to really justify this scaling because I think it's important and stuff.
How can Red Hulk be worthy? You don't know his life.
Yes, I lift the Mjolnir by just throwing it.
To get to a higher multi-level of than Kefka was potentially arguing, I want to bring up my good friend, Seth. So this is Seth in his dimension, and Seth is a character who is enhanced when he's in a specific realm, like he becomes a lot more powerful. But Loki's able to break through his binds and use his magic and fight him. Seth is a threat to our good friend, the World Tree. And the World Tree is this, like, it's a weird, like, apprehension of cosmology thing. It's basically a pretty big part of the Marvel multiverse, which can get like infinite multi and stuff. So I would probably put Loki at like multi plus within both magical and physical capabilities.
Okay. That I have no clue who those other three guys were standing next to Bedouin Bill were, but okay.
Yeah, the only one that really matters there is Seth, because he is the one who does all the threatening and stuff. So yeah, there's some really consistent multi-scaling for Loki throughout older Marvel and even newer Marvel. So that's where I got for stats. Do you want to talk briefly about Kefka's speed? I don't think that's really going to be a factor for either.
Yeah, where's the okay, so I do have a speed calc for him. Or there was a speed calc for him. Okay, so
imagine getting jobs in your own realm. Like Seth had home field advantage, and he failed.
Yeah. So here we have here's a low end calc that we have. It's called Sunbath, where basically Kefka can outspeed basically light that comes directly from the sun to Earth.
That's not a good bath. Where's the liquid?
It's a different kind of cleansing.
Holy cleansing.
So I'm assuming the sun bath is a light-based attack.
Yes, it is very much a it's very much a light-based attack. Massively faster than light.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So yeah, Monty used Sunbath, which makes rays from the sun travel to the ground because the attack is called Sunbath Sunbathing. It yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How fast does Loki get?
If we want to talk about Loki by himself, he has a feat of traveling from Earth to Asgard. He just kind of flies there, and Earth to Asgard is like millions to trillions of sea at the low end. but being able to keep up with characters like Thor and stuff, they have their own immeasurable speed feats. Odin especially has a couple. There's one where he's able to enhance Thor's powers in a way that allows Thor to spin so fast he travels through time. He does the Powerpuff Girl thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also, like, he's able to fight an enraged Silver Surfer. And Silver Surfer is able to travel, like, the universe in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure just immeasurable is fine for Loki. He consistently is keeping up with people who are on those speeds.
Were they going all out during those fights, though?
The Silver Surfer, yes, it's an enraged Silver Surfer.
Okay, just making sure, because there's that one fight with Cable where it's just like he was kind of toying with Cable, but once he got serious, he kind of kicked Cable's teeth in.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's one thing that we always got to make sure when we're like I've talked about this in versus debates with other people. It's like you got to talk about how, like, were they going all out in their scuffles, because I can't tell you how many times, like especially in Starfire versus Blaze, how like people were. It's like how many times it's like we can't accept this feat because one or more characters were holding back.
Yeah, I think what also helps with the Loki thing as well, him fighting Seth. That was an instance where Seth was also trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Aren't there outdoor arguments for base Loki? Yeah, I talked about those with the whole Odin soul stuff.
Yeah.
I think Silver Surfer has also fought the Daredevil, Black Panther, Wolverine. Yeah, he has fought a lot.
Yeah.
He gets around.
If you're a Herald of Galactus, you probably go places, right?
Oh yeah.
You probably get like you probably get like a once a year vacation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Should we touch on their abilities? Because I feel like this is going to be a lot.
It's gonna be a
man.
long
You want to take our
time.
intermission?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it's like the ability is like, especially with Kefka, it's just like, I mean, if we were doing like the categories thing, the versatility that Kefka has is
Well, do you want me?
ridiculous.
Do you want me to start, and then you can start sending over what you need?
Go ahead.
Okay. Loki genuinely has so many insane abilities. It is crazy. So I've already talked about a lot of his astral forms, right? So he's able to just periodically just kind of leave his body and start flying along with it. I already showed you the Earth example. He's able to battle Odin with this. And most interestingly, there was a time where he was transmuted, and his astral form was still able to like leave that transmutation and fight against it, which doesn't exactly matter because Loki is resistant to transmutation. Funny enough.
Then how did he get transmuted in the first place?
Well, he had to take time to break out of it. There's a couple of other things like Loki is capable of binding souls. As you can see, he stuck these souls to a little bit of a tree. He's just sitting here with the knife running across his tongue. Loki is a trickster, so obviously he has a bunch of illusions that he's capable of creating. He is capable of phasing. So in a pretty interesting thing, he's able to phase himself and other people. And during a fight with Thor, he had a sword. Thor went to hit it with Mjolnir. The hammer just went through it, and Thor was like, "What the hell's going on?" And Loki was like, "Oh, I phased the weapon into another dimension so it wouldn't break." So he can like isolate that kind of, making someone transmuting. He is able to transmute people and objects. He transmuted a bunch of soldiers' weapons with wings and caused them all to fly away, which is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Seeing the guns with wings gave me the rat birds from Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs type thing.
Yeah.
I need that image of the bazooka with wings.
Please, yes, and send me that too, please.
He's able to with that transmutation, he's able to do a lot with this. I kind of want to go into this for a minute. He's able to mess with people's biology, so he made a bunch of humans into blanks.
What?
which are just these kind of white beings who don't kind of exist. Strange. His transmutation has let him turn people into snow, pumpkins, so many different things. Also, this is really cool. He's able to reverse people's powers. So in a fight with Sue Storm and the Fantastic Four, he reversed her barrier inwards, so it started to suffocate her.
Holy shit.
Yeah!
That's
He reversed the polarity of her power, and the barrier started to suffocate her. Which is
kind of horrifying.
Yeah, holy shit. He is able to make duplicates of himself, which are physical beings. He's done this multiple times. This isn't the first time. This is like the one when this is really early on, so this is when they're mental projections. But when he fights the Avengers later on, they become actual physical beings, you know?
Yeah.
why is Thor's hammer in that? Why is Mjolnir in that one comic just like absurdly long?
Look, you gotta have a really long weapon, okay? He's able to make himself invisible, I've already mentioned, and intangible. With his invisibility, he can also control who sees him. So he manifested to everyone. He only manifested to the Storm, and everyone else was invisible. He's able to control the elements, like he can control fire, he can cast down storms, create wind, manipulate ice. He can make objects come to life, like he made a bunch of roots come to life that grabbed Thor, and then he was like, "Oh, you're getting messed by roots. I guess you're not allowed to have Mjolnir because you're so bad." What a mean person. In probably one of his most famous instances, he turned himself into radiation. He made himself radioactive so that the people around him couldn't touch him. Why?
Okay.
That classic Iron Man design is so funny.
It's so
Yeah.
goofy looking.
That's true. He's able to mess with people's minds in a bunch of ways. He's able to cause sleep, make people forget things. He's able to look into your mind and pull out memories. Or he's able just to mind read you as casually as he wants to. What else can he do? Oh, perhaps his most important one for this debate is he's able to absorb powers. Even people on his level, like he was able to absorb Dormammu's power before.
Yeah.
And he's been able to switch off people's powers, just kind of like, oh, your powers are gone. Nah. The transmutation thing can also just be like one time someone tried to touch him and their hand just got turned into glass.
Yeah.
Crazy. There is so much what this man can do. He obviously he's got illusions and stuff. The illusions can be big in size. Like he created a big flame for Surtur to stab, and then Surtur stabbed it, and he was like, "Why isn't my sword on fire?" And Loki was like, "It was me," because he's a troll. He's able to, more interestingly, he's able to slow down your mind. So one of his spells, he's able to like penetrate your brain, and it's super weird. He's also got spells like silence, which makes things completely quiet, or you unable to speak. On top of the reversing powers, perhaps one of my favorite things is he can summon a bunch of people. So he can summon stone golems, rock creatures, Mephisto. Just Mephisto. He just summoned Mephisto. This isn't the all-powerful demon that he's also, like, this isn't the only one. He's also summoned Surtur. So we can have moments where Loki is capable of summoning these things. He's able to shrink his body into nothingness and then make himself whole again. He's able to shrink others with his magic. He's able to warp reality. He made an entire light city into candy.
Little Candyland. It's Candy
Island,
Island,
is that you?
Flapjack. It's Candy Island, Flapjack.
Captain Knuckles would be proud of him.
We're going to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Yeah, that's a lot of what he's capable of doing. he's able to like scan the entire planet and find where you are. He did it with Hulk. He's able to really funnily fuck with Bruce Banner in specific and turn him back and forth from the Hulk into just, a regular version of himself. He's also able to teleport to the nexus of all realities. Ignore this is Doctor Strange. This was when a comic arc when he was disguised as Doctor Strange.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He disguised
plot
himself.
twist.
Yeah, he disguised himself as Doctor Strange for like a good couple of issues. And,
Yeah, do you know what's kind of funny? It's just like, and this kind of also came up in Starfire versus Blaze. It feels like a lot of the things that are just really real that are just feel like a little bit of hackneyed writing are like some of the biggest feats for power scaling.
Yeah, exactly.
Dumb.
I've already talked about him being able to like bind souls and stuff, but he can physically just take like your soul, or in this instance, he's taking parts of souls out of individuals. I don't like his face, but there, by the way, he was like, yeah. He's able to bring people back from the dead if he needs to. His psychic bolts, which are blasts of like just kind of blasts of energy, psychic in nature, were able to really mess with Doctor Strange. That's a lot of stuff already, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
The last thing for now, because I feel like this might be funny to end on. He once cursed someone to be eternally young.
Mm-hmm.
There's more I'm able to go into and probably will later, but I think that's it for now.
Yeah. So, and this is why this matchup is often so push. It's like at first glance, you don't see a lot of similarities between Kefka and Loki, but once you really look into it, it's like, oh my gosh, these guys are really similar because literally Kefka can do all of those things and he can resist all of those things.
Okay.
Wait, so he was just getting his powers taken and his bones turned to licorice?
Yes.
Can
Because here's the thing.
up an instant.
Kefka is the god of magic. He can basically do anything that is possible within the Final Fantasy universe. Every single Esper, every ability that they have, every little thing, Kefka can do, and he can also resist. So I'm just going to put in. Okay, so the first image I give to you is Kefka's stat block.
Okay.
It's just an example of some of the things that he is able to, he is immune to.
Would Kefka be able to use all of the spells that come after 6? Theoretically?
Yes, and I don't like it.
Because if so,
in terms of power scaling debates, it doesn't feel fun because it's like, oh, Kefka scales to Gilgamesh and Gilgamesh is all of this, and that means Kefka can scales to everything in like Final Fantasy IV, the after years. It's just like I don't like bringing that up because it feels. I don't know. I just have this hang up about it.
The only reason I brought it up because I just pictured the funny image of Kefka just casting Zeta Flare like fucking Donald.
Boom. Yeah, so that's the stat block.
Yeah, that's a stat block. It's just like all those status things that he is resistant to, and the thing is that like a lot of the things, it's like he can resist. He resists magic, which rewrites the natural order of things. Like he scales to all the espers, so like Ifrit, Shiva. It's like he resists zombification, paralysis, size manipulation, like the mini spell. He can resist the imp status effect, which is a transmutation. He can resist power nullification, which is the silence status effect. He can resist his mind being affected, like confuse. Sleep manipulation, biological, like the sleep spell. He resists like pretty much everything that Loki can throw at him.
Interesting. Would any of these, because I think it's a pretty important ability, would transmutation be affected by any of these?
Yes, that's imp.
Because I don't know Final Fantasy C, so
That's fair. It's like that. The stuff is really.
yeah, you got that right, mate. It also is also really funny the specific counter of Loki has a silence spell, but Kefka's one of the resistances is silence. That's such a funny interaction.
It's just like Loki's just like, shut up, Kefka. No.
Yeah, Kefka can also, and that's just what really makes this matchup so fun. I mean, assuming you don't use God of Stories, because that's just.
God of Stories is like the big elephant in the room that we've already gone over.
Yeah, and that one of the big things is that that it really is, but it's just like Kefka can also create illusions. It's like he can disguise himself as anybody. It's like he can create like he can disguise himself. He can create clones. Like he can do a lot of the things that mostly everything that Loki can do, and he can also resist. He has resistances to a lot of the things that Loki can do.
So you brought up that Loki could also just getting his powers stolen. Not Loki. Kefka could get his power. Was just getting his powers stolen?
Getting his power stolen. Well, I mean, Kefka stole his powers from the Warring Triad, so I don't know. I get the feeling like there'd be a tug of war about stealing each other's powers.
That seems funny, actually.
I'm just imagining the powers as like an actual rope, and they're just grabbing onto it.
Now, I will say one specific thing here, because
mine's on the Xbox.
the power nullifications, like the power stealing back and forth. Loki has been able to weak individual specific magic,
Yeah.
Like he's been able to mess with Nobilis, who is this he's just kind of a man, but he has like powers and stuff, as you know. But he was able to like weaken his magic specifically. I was like, how do I describe Nobilis? He just genuinely looks like the most like normal male ever. I was like,
what?
Yeah. And I wonder how, and also with the power stealing thing, is there an argument of Loki being able to turn that power stealing against Kefka like he did with Sue Storm's powers?
Wait, could Sue Storm steal powers?
No, but the kind of reversing the power effect that he's done.
Okay.
Not Sue Storm being able to steal power.
Sue Storm.
Yeah. Who knew Sue Storm was out of
I'm sorry. The way that sentence was structured really threw me for a loop.
That's fine.
But there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things here like that I have listed. Like a lot of it is from scaling to Gil. It's like there's some extra abilities like from scaling to Gilgamesh. That means he scales to some pretty nuts stuff from Final Fantasy IV: The After Years, there's a lot of crazy statements in that, and I don't like bringing it up. I don't like bringing that stuff up because it feels like it feels like it implies that Kefka can't stand on his own 2 feet.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, which he already has some incredibly nuts stuff just from his game alone.
I will say, I'm going to ask one interesting question here, because this might be a big factor here. Has Kefka ever resisted kind of being, I guess, kind of counterspelled, to use D&D terms?
Resist being counterspelled.
So, to use my example, Doctor Strange attempted to use his purple dimension crystal thing to trap. And the purple crystal is a very powerful gem, right? Like it's the dimension thing. And with quite literally a hand wave, he was able to just boom, ward it off, There's a lot of instances where Loki has been able to dispel other people's magic as well. Like, he has been able to strip when he stripped the New Mutant of their power. He also has stripped another person of her gain knowledge of magic as well, and like he's been able to overpower a lot of people's magic before, even stuff that's like maybe shouldn't be able to be broken through. You know, it's weird.
There's again, it's that like I do have a list here of like feats from Final Fantasy IV the After Years, and that is one of those Final Fantasy IV the After Years feats.
What
It's
is
just-
Final Fantasy for the After Years?
It's basically a sequel to Final Fantasy IV. There's also a novelization.
Ah,
And there's a lot of things that come from that novelization, which is like, oh, the Ifrit's Hellfire can literally burn your soul. That's that sort of thing. It's just on one hand, it's just like, ooh, that might help me win, but it's just like, I don't know, it feels like cheating.
you were gonna have to.
And I know that's kind of, and I know I feel like that's a little sacrilegious to feel because considering the characters we're debating, but I don't know. It's like if I had a D&D alignment, it would probably be lawful good. So, which is really ironic considering how much I love Kefka as a character.
Yeah, I just want to say, because there's, like I said, there's been multiple examples where Loki has been fighting other magical users like Doctor Strange and Seth, where he's been able to do like counter spell based things and be like, nope,
Yeah.
bye bye, dispel your magic type thing.
Yeah, so there are instances in Final Fantasy IV the After Years where Kefka's where not Kefka's like where magic has been shown to basically bypass like protection spells and stuff. That's the most of what I can give you here. Like for instance, like a Mega Flare is capable of bypassing Reflect.
Right.
Alongside many other spells in the game. It's you could argue it. It's a weak argument, I'll admit.
Mhm.
It's like he could, but it's
Nothing you want to rely on, I guess.
yeah, it's not reliable.
And also, I wanted to ask another question. Is there any way that Kefka can get around Loki's phasing?
Phasing.
Yeah, Loki can make himself intangible and like make attacks basically just pass him. And also, what's the most bullshit about this ability is Loki can still use spells. He's still able to do all of his magic while being intangible. So it's not technically a state he would have to like leave. He can just do it and still use all of his hacks. I guess he can't throw hands, which, sad thing for Loki. Notable boxer.
Well, magic as a whole in Final Fantasy VI is shown to affect a wide variety of different beings, like that, including intangible / immaterial beings, non-corporeal, even abstract concepts like what's this character's name? Chronodia, who's the flow of time itself. Mm-hmm. But again, that's not from Final Fantasy VI. That's from through Gilgamesh scaling.
Yeah, I just want to. I'm asking a lot of these questions because like Loki has so many.
Fair. It's like these are both complicated characters. They
got
a wide variety of stuff to do. It's just like keep asking me questions. It's totally
I feel like this like ability stuff can go back and forth for a while because there's just so much, and this is probably gonna.
I think we need the back and forth though.
Yeah, this feels like this is gonna be like the cusp of
the
majority
debate
of this cast.
Okay, another question: is there any way that Kefka can travel through dimensions and stuff because Loki can BFR people to dimensions and different realities?
Please don't make me say it again.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get a boot.
You were gonna have to cheat.
But
It's like just from Final Fantasy VI, you could make the argument like it's unclear whether or not the Esper world is a higher dimension or just a normal multiverse. It's like you can make the art. It's like just depending on your interpretation, you could do it any other way, just from Final Fantasy VI. But again, through Gilgamesh scaling.
Yeah, I'm only asking this because he's been able to imprison people like Jane Foster in Limbo. So there's a chance he can kind of just send Kefka away and imprison him. I don't know Kefka's gender, actually.
Yeah, Kefka uses male pronouns.
I did not know what pronouns Kefka. You see, this is how much I don't know Final Fantasy.
But yeah, he does. He can. But yeah, Kefka does actually have resistance to sealing.
Right. Okay, that's good because that was another one of my questions.
Yeah, because there's an item called a gourd, and which seals, and it's basically it's basically the Mafuba.
Yeah. Interesting.
So he can't be affected by the Mafuba.
Damn it! I love the Mafuba. Yeah,
that's not Village Otter. What's wrong with Gilgamesh? It's like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just I'm trying very hard to just use feats from Final Fantasy VI, and he's asking questions where I'm just like, yes and no.
But yeah,
I
don't want to cop out. I'm trying very hard not to cop out here.
That's fair. I guess. If this is the same answer, then I'm gonna cry. Can Kefka resist being possessed? More specifically, is this kind of layered resistance?
Well,
Josh, don't do this to me.
Josh,
Don't do this to me.
Josh,
This part is actually just from Final Fantasy VI.
Oh,
thank God!
Finally,
Finally, we got one.
He can resist the control ability. He can resist the control ability, which makes the target do things the user desires by controlling their body.
Okay, so yeah. I'm trying to think of like other stuff that I can ask because there's so much to talk about. Like just to
it's
bring
like take a shot of your glitch every time I say through Gilgamesh scaling. Creator code Josh Scorcher for 30 to 40% off.
Oh god,
Fantastic plug.
We can't stop
Fantastic
him.
plug.
Because like Loki one time was able to create miniature projections of people in the palm of his hand, and anything he did to the projection translated to the real version.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost like a voodoo doll, but more like destructive with so many spells, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
sorry if y'all hear my dog in the background.
I can't hear a thing.
Okay.
This isn't going to be anything game winning, but actually, this is going to be really interesting to bring up. I'm going to bring this up now. This is the living mask. No, it's not the Jim Carrey mask. It's a different.
Damn
it!
Wonderful.
So the Marvel living mask is able to basically switch the bodies between two different individuals. Switches their body, switches their minds. So I'm wondering, does Kefka have any way around that? Because if Loki got in a situation where he feels like he's gonna lose, he could whip out the living mask and possess them. Also, yes, I understand. I say mask weird. It's because I'm British.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed.
I have a very...
Okay, so I'm unsure, like again, this is kind of hard because it's gonna be very heavily based on interpretation here, because again, he can resist being controlled, he can resist like his soul being affected, he can resist his mind being affected. So I don't know. It's like I'm leaning towards no, because like, I mean, with all those resistances combined, I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that he would be able to resist getting his consciousness switched.
Yeah, maybe. I also want to bring up what's probably a interesting thing that doesn't really get talked about in fights. Loki, I believe, has a range advantage here. There are 3 different occasions where Loki is able to use his powers from basically he's sitting up in Asgard, looking down and being like, ha ha, ha screw you. During the creation of what's known as the Tri-Sentinels, Loki was on Asgard and fused the 3 Sentinels together. That's why they're called the Tri-Sentinels. And used them to cause chaos. But for more interesting powers, he's able to drain the powers from individuals from far away.
From far away. Yeah. It's
There's also he was able to mess with Silver Surfer doing this as well by BFRing. he like fired a beam. It looks like he's like peeking out his window. Like he peeked out his window and boom, a BFR'd Silver Surfer to like another to behind the barrier of Galactus. Which is interesting because Loki was also capable of breaking through the barrier of Galactus. And Galactus, Mephisto, blah, 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 blah.
Potato.
Yeah. It's well, just from Final Fantasy 6, I can just say like he can just like from like Mog's sunbath ability, it's like, okay, he's got at the very least planetary, it's a like solar system kind of range.
Yeah.
It's that's just basically, it's like he can, I'm not entirely sure this counts, but he can also banish people to other dimensions with the into the void with the teleport ability. So that's one thing. And again, this is scaling to Gilgamesh.
Taking a shot.
Yep, take a shot.
I'll also do it.
We should have done that. I should have done this from the beginning.
Fun fact, I have been. I was expecting this. I have been.
Yeah.
I already ran out of my drinks, so.
I need to grab more.
Don't grab more.
Oh man, but
while we're having this moment here, do we want to take our intermission real quick?
Yes.
I was gonna do some sort of segue. Come on, I was gonna think of something funny. Okay.
But yeah,
Gosh, sorry.
I'll just finish.
the segue.
Yeah, I'll just finish my thought here.
Yeah, you finish your thought, Josh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so magic as a whole can affect omnipresent beings like X-Death. It's like when X-Death actually became one with the Void itself, and the Void spans across the entire Final Fantasy multiverse. So, yeah, so to answer your question, I would say yes with an asterisk.
Okay. I guess, Josh, do you wanna? You have something upcoming, right? Just a little something.
Yes. I can. Do you have the link to it, or do I need to send it to you?
We've got your little Ko-Fi in the description.
All right.
So just talk away.
All right. So, Sidon versus Undyne is Triple F's next matchup. It is going to be a fun little fight between two fishy polearm warriors who fight for royalty and have a strong sense of justice and duty, and they are known for their big smiles, big personalities. And but yes, it is it's very fun. It's if you guys are familiar with Raccoon Bro VA, he's going
been
to
on
be
this cast a few times.
Yes, he is voicing Sidon. And we also have Cammy Cat, who is going to be voicing Undyne for this fight. It's going to be our first 3D fight, and we are very close to getting funded. Very, very, very close.
Nice.
That's why the Ko-Fi. That's why the Ko-Fi.
Ko-Fi.
Ko-Fi. That's why the Ko-Fi is in the description. You all should check it out. You should support Josh.
I just say coffee.
I mean, yeah, but Ko-Fi is funnier. It's funnier when I mispronounce it. You know, it's we always love our independent animation, especially when it comes to versus shows. And this is definitely one you 100% want to support, because from the previews we've gotten, this is going to be something special.
Yes. Yeah, so this is good. Thank you very much. So yeah, this is we've been hard at work writing it. So we got it's like the animatic is finished, the research is done. We just need a little bit to get us over that hurdle of just get us over that hurdle to make sure the animation is complete.
I'm guessing Deltoon chapters 3 and 4 didn't have anything that would mess up the fight yet.
There's some things that we're gonna mention.
Ooh. Well, but there's another person who wanted to say something. Wagon?
Yes. So, in case any of y'all haven't heard, so our next episode of Fan Battle is actually dropping tomorrow. That will be King Arthur versus Robin Hood, but specifically the versions from Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Python versus Mel Brooks. Let's go.
And we have our sneak peek out at the moment. If you're able to get that on stream for folks yourself.
Goodness! I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't told about this. Yeah, keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. yeah, I totally have it pulled up. Fan Battle YouTube channel.
I sent you the link in Discord.
Oh, thank God.
It's okay. I got it up anyway.
Okay.
We can check out the preview. Yeah, everyone wants to check out this preview thingy. Screen share. There we go. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Yes.
Quality drops.
Your stream quality is going to be rubbish, but we already established that.
Today, friends, your toiling in these fields comes to an end. I am Robin of Locksley, and me and my merry men have traveled the land in search of oppressed citizenry such as yourselves. And together, we will right the wrongs of society, fight injustice, and... Yes, that. I think it's high time we make our point. Starting with this.
What if the wind's blowing against them?
Well, then it becomes ground speed. Very different kettle of fish there. Whoa! Why, it's the Holy Grail! Dismount!
Hey! Oh, that is
It's coming out on my birthday!
Oh, yeah!
So yeah, so our voice cast for this, we have Matt Yakinta as King Arthur and James Gibbons 128 as Robin Hood, and the track that you heard in the background was by Sky TGM, good friend of ours on the crew and all that, and yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Everything has been coming together really well for this, and like I can tell that everyone's gonna have like a really fun time with this episode. I can't wait to see what everyone's reactions to it are.
Can I just say,
Yeah, it's peak, I fear.
as someone who really loves Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I'm surprised y'all didn't put like a tiny coconut thing for the clapping.
Oh, there was.
Oh, there was.
There was coconut sound effects. I heard it.
Yeah.
I hear those. And I guess that's the end. Wait a minute, we have a last one.
We have three.
That
Slime guy, kind of cool.
Yeah, you might have heard of our good friend Plime. He's cool. I like him a lot. He's been doing quite regular live streams to talk about a very secret show upcoming. Ooh, how secret. And unfortunately for all of you at home, he's brought me along. Chains and all. Plime, behind the scenes, is working very, very hard. And you guys should just kind of check out his live streams when you get the chance. It's a good time. We talk about matchups that could potentially be done and stuff. Yeah, I wish I had more to say, but I feel like if I say any more, I'm going to get a knock at my door and Plime's going to be there. So
it's time to bust some kneecaps, boy.
yeah, literally. Let's get back to the debate at hand.
Back into the abilities.
Yeah.
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 That's yeah. So for those who are just joining us, we kind of quickly came to the conclusion that with all of their abilities, they can mostly counter everything. It's like they all have like this stupidly high number of abilities, but we just kind of noticed that Kefka pretty much counters or has resistances. And here's the question I have to ask: what's the status of Loki and his resistances?
Loki has quite a few resistances, I'll be honest.
Oh god.
Yeah.
We wanted to go into resistances. Okay, so there's been a couple of things that he's been able to do. Obviously, I talked about that time he broke out of transmutation. Seth tried to turn him into wood. And Loki was like, come on, Seth, you really think that you'd seen the last of me, did you? And I only had a bag of gold for every time someone imprisoned me in an inanimate state, which happens quite a bit. Which, hey, I told you that's why he, you talk about, well, how did he get transmuted? He needed time. He is capable of no poisons really work on him. So this is when Loki's having dinner with good old Victor Von Doom. And you know what? Props to Doom. If I was also look at how many photos he has of himself.
The most narcissistic man
Do
in
you think you get another one between those two? Like, I think he's not being good with his space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just kind of let's try and speed run this. All right. I'm just gonna go through the list of things that Kefka can do, and you just tell me yes or no if Loki has a resistance to it.
You know what?
He basically did the same thing to me.
This is gonna be the worst part now because I'm gonna have to be like, maybe because other Asgardians.
Well, hey, you guys let me wax poetic about Gilgamesh, so
That's true.
I still have my drink here just in case if Gilgamesh or anything else Asgardian gets brought up again.
Okay, so you've already brought up transmutation. So okay. So all right. Soul manipulation.
Maybe, kind of. I'm leaning towards yes. Not only can he continue to animate himself and fight as a soul, it's so strange fighting like Doctor Strange and other people on that level and like their attacks. Kind of, a lot of them always target the soul. You can see why this is getting strange really quick. Hey, strange.
All right.
It's weird. I'm leaning towards yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. It's can Loki resist being possessed?
Unknown.
What?
I said unknown, like I'm unsure.
Okay.
Yeah, again, it's just so can he resist having his own powers nullified?
Again, it's unknown, I would say.
That's very unhelpful. Can he resist having his durability being negated?
Yes.
Okay.
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 Loki owns these objects which are called the Narn Stones, which can specifically either like up his own stats or nullify other people trying to reduce his stats.
Okay. Can he resist his mind being Can he resist his mind being affected?
Yes.
Okay.
The one that I'm able to just be like, yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was. Oh no, it was the controller. The controller tried to use a slave disc on him to control his mind, and it just didn't work.
All right. And how good is he at resisting damage? Like, like Kefka's magic can cause temperatures that reach absolute zero. So is that something that Loki would be able to survive?
It's another one where it's like maybe. I mean, he can obviously travel through space and that.
Yeah.
Space, cold usually. And there's also, I'm pretty sure he has capsules which let him also resist these.
All right. Is he able to resist being banished to another dimension?
Yeah, he can just travel through dimensions.
Well, that's not what I asked. It's like, can he resist? It's he can travel through the dimensions, sure, but can he resist being forced there?
I don't know if he can resist being forced there, but he can like come straight back.
Yeah. So if he happened to be traveled to a dimension where it just like instantly kills him,
you would have to do a lot to put down Loki because he's able to regenerate.
all right. Is he able to resist his regeneration being nullified? Because that's actually a thing that Kefka can do.
You're gonna hate my next word.
Wait, what?
Probably, maybe not. It's weird.
Could you repeat what you just said, Josh, please?
Can he resist having his regeneration being nullified?
Okay.
I would say probably not.
Oh.
It's one of those things where it's like it happens once and never happens again. But I mean, even base Asgardians can like survive with their soul being removed and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And he's able to like bring people back from the dead, and he's done it on so many
All right.
occasions.
Yeah, there's like so much.
I can get one out of the way. He can't have his powers absorbed.
Yeah.
Because of Rogue. Rogue tried to absorb his energy away from him, and he just did that.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually a really important comic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he can't have it. He can't have his power he can't have like his base power absorbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is his base powers tied to his magical abilities?
That would be basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just.
But that also raises the question. It's like, how powerful is Rogue's absorption?
Yeah.
Because we have the god of magic over here versus Gil from Texas.
I mean, Rogue is a pretty powerful X-Men, to be fair.
Yeah. She did permanently absorb the powers of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
This is probably a dumb question, but can Loki has magical objects that he can use, right?
Yeah.
Is there any way that those magical objects' powers can be absorbed from Kefka?
I mean, Kefka could probably absorb those, but I've already established that Loki can absorb the powers back, and like, as I've just established, he can't get really his powers absorbed. So, like, if Kefka takes them from the objects, Loki takes them back, and oh boy, now he just has those powers on him, you know?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like Kefka literally absorbed the powers of gods just by but when he was just a man. So I think he probably outscales Rogue there.
But if I didn't really want to go into outscaling stuff because then it gets into layered stuff. But you can make that argument from Loki's possession, being able to possess Odin, and Odin has like fought off possession from other people. It's an entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very nuanced debate.
I didn't really want to get into layered stuff because I feel like that's where we start to get like with Doctor Strange's magic, being able to like overpower his ceiling and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they tried to see him in the purple dimension thing, and like his healing has worked on other people before, so it's like layered, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is very layered. So, like, there are things. So, what I'm hearing is that there are a lot of things that Loki can resist, but there are some abilities that you're not sure if Loki can resist because he hasn't been shown to.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I think that's okay. So I think that could probably end the resistances part of the debate. So why don't we move on to intelligence, maybe?
Well, we can. Yeah.
All right,
I
who got
guess
the
I
higher
can-
ACT score?
this is a
Not
really,
me.
gonna be a school thing, but Loki is generally quite smart, quite tricky. He's an evil genius. He's been able to invent. So he invented something known as like a psychic beacon, which launched a psychic signal. That Phoenix stated that she had never felt anything like this before, and Phoenix's psychic ability. That is like top tier of the Marvel cosmology, you know? And Loki was able to build this and use it. He's been able to like trap people and trick people. Obviously, there was that time he was on the Avengers for a bit. That was bro there. What was he doing? He has been able to lure people in and trap them. Like he used a translucent spheroid project to transport Iceman to Asgard. He put like his power. He used a thing called a cosmic transmuter, literally its name, on a housewife, and Thor like tricked Thor into getting close enough to her to where he turned into a frog.
Yeah.
He is he has ensnared Reed Richards, like one of the smartest people ever in Marvel, in mathematical conundrums that render him unable to even comprehend anything besides his failing comprehension.
Yeah, that's one of the things. It's like this is a thing that like a lot of people have called Odysseus, like one of the dumbest smart people ever. Yeah, because one of the things about intelligence is that oftentimes it is often hampered by a character's ego. Like, gosh darn it, Odysseus, if you didn't just dox yourself. You literally doxed yourself to the Cyclops, and you are the dumbest smart person.
Well, also, Loki, I think it's important to talk about not just intelligence, but Loki has fought a very wide variety of foes. Magic users, I would argue, are more powerful than Kefka, more specifically people like Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And with even I think it's fair to argue Doctor Strange has a lot more in the variety category than both of these combatants. Maybe even combined. Doctor Strange does a different thing every single comic.
Yeah, he has, but there's also one thing that I did that was one thing that I would argue as a big anti-feat for Loki is that this was sent to me by I'm not going to say, but Loki has a big problem with sabotaging himself. Loki has a very big problem, like, quote unquote, I realized too late that I'd done what we Lokis always do. I'd found a way to lose.
Yeah, but that's weird because, like...
No, think about it. It's just like Loki is so incredibly intelligent. Loki is so incredibly smart. He has all these powers, and yet somehow he loses, like every single freaking time. And there's a lot of different reasons why he loses. It's like either he gets tunnel vision, he doesn't see the long game. It's there's all these. It's like, and heck, this was actually talked about in the MCU, where it's just like, really, Loki, you are so predictable.
Yeah, but that's against a lot of people who are quite used to him, you know? In a fresh fight like this, I don't think that really would matter a lot. And like Loki loses a bunch, that's for a lot of reasons, and especially one is his specific tunnel vision on fucking over Thor in specific. A lot of his plans would go through if he doesn't fucking try and mess with Thor specifically. But like, if we want to talk about scheme and intelligence and stuff, Loki did this time travel thing. Yes, he can time travel, where he basically created a time paradox where Thor would kill Odin's father, Bor, and that would lead to him being banished and stuff. Like, I'll agree that Loki definitely can, like, a lot of the reasons he loses is because of himself. But I don't think that's kind of the main thing with him. There's been times, especially nowadays, as he's a lot more of an anti-hero than a straight-up villain, where he's been able to, like, beat people and fight people, you know? And like I mentioned with that Seth one, he beat Seth in a fight, and Seth was not only amped by being in his own domain, which isn't just a home field advantage thing, he was literally physically amped. He was able to beat him and stuff, and he's tricked people before. Like I said, a lot of the reasons why Loki ultimately loses in the long run is because of Thor. They are two sides of the same coin, you know?
Yeah, but still, it's just like, yeah, this is something that also came up in Starfire versus Blaze, is this whole quantity versus quality issue in regards to, you know, their intelligence and experience. It's like a lot of these comic book characters, they have more high-end fights, but their win-loss ratios are very, very spotty. Whereas the other character has a much better win-loss ratio, but fewer high-end fights.
I mean, sure, but the thing that I'm saying here is even if Loki does end up losing these fights, which, again, with the Seth example is big because he's literally fighting a magic user who has all of these spells. And, like, even matching people like Doctor Strange gives him that versatility of experience example, you know?
All right. But yeah, that's all right.
Cover. So I didn't really get much of who is more intelligent out of that.
Speaking of that as well, he's also fooled like Odin with his illusions and stuff.
That is Odin. He's old.
Okay, yeah, but Odin is literally one of the most powerful people in Marvel who
Is
knows Loki.
Granddad needs to be putting in a retirement home.
That was in the MCU. They tried to put him in a retirement home in the MCU. Yeah, but also you talk about the Loki thing, losing. This is a guy who raised Loki.
Yeah,
he knows Loki, and Loki is just capable of deceiving him. There was a.
Yeah, out of the entire intelligence conversation, I could not pin down who was more intelligent.
Yeah, welcome to this debate.
Yeah, this debate is crazy. It literally is quality versus quantity.
we literally kicked a God of Stories Loki to the curb, and it's like, yes, we've now been going on for like what, almost 2.5 hours?
1 hour.
Not that
minutes.
long.
Not that long.
Okay.
Yeah, just 1.5.
Yeah.
It's kind of felt longer.
I mean, there's been a lot of
cover.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is tricky. This whole debate, because they have this whole like you could definitely argue higher power for Loki, but I don't know. It's just like it feels like Kefka kind of wins in the category of resistances, and there are some inconclusive things that Loki is resistant to, but yeah, for intelligence, these guys are very similar. But it's the quality versus quantity thing, and yeah, it's range, like it's very tricky. I don't know what else to talk about.
This is a question for you, Josh. Do you happen to have a picture of what Kefka looks in the final fight?
The angel fight, like his god form.
Yes.
Yeah. 1 second.
I guess I can talk
we
about-
know who's got the better theme song.
Yeah, I just sent it here.
I will put it up on screen. I guess there's a lot I can talk about when it comes to Loki. It'll Discord's acting weird, so it'll send in a minute. But we have, even if we want to look at other people's statements within the Marvel universe, people like Doctor Doom have conceded that Loki is just beyond his understanding. Doom was like, I don't know, this guy's he's like looking at like people like Thanos and all that, and he's like, I don't know, it's Loki is like beyond my understanding, you know.
I feel something interesting that I'm surprised Loki hasn't messed with Moon Knight, to my knowledge.
No.
Which
is
I don't
weird.
think he could in general, because Moon Knight's head is just messed up.
But like, yeah, there's been so much to talk about here with their powers
Yeah.
and stuff. I haven't even.
Isn't this really fun though? It's just like when you look at the things that they are
Yeah.
capable of doing, it's just like, wow, these characters are similar.
Like, there's so much to talk about here. Like Loki being able to create force fields for people and for himself.
Did that too.
Yeah, he weaved a spell to half Saul's strength whenever he entered the realm. Possessed Odin, caused chains to magnetically attach to Munir, turned trees into monsters. We can get into final arguments if you want. I feel like we're looping around the.
Yep, I think it's time for final arguments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start, Josh?
All right, yep. I'll start. Well, final arguments. I think that Kefka, assuming we are not using God of Stories, wins this fight because Kefka had, through being the god of magic, he pretty much resists everything that Loki can throw at him, and I feel like his better win-loss ratio should definitely be a factor. He's a schemer and he plays the long game, and the only reason that he actually lost in canon is because he just let himself lose. He wasn't tricked. He just like, I'm done.
Just got bored of being God.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you get bored of being God?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like he can do pretty much anything Loki can do, and he can resist a lot of the things that Loki can do. It's like literally the only advantage that Loki has, I feel, is power. And as we have seen many times, just because the character is stronger or has more layers doesn't necessarily mean they will be victorious.
And Ghost Rider versus Spawn comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a pretty complicated debate in
All right.
general.
All right, I think that's my bit.
Cool.
Poll is up, by the way.
Okay.
Hello, it's all here. For some reason, his avatar isn't working. He tried. I'll let you know he did, but apparently nothing wants to work on my end today. So I guess you're gonna have to be stuck with me for a minute. This debate is a headache. It is very complicated, and I just think in the long run, is it all working on my end? There we go. I think in the long run, Loki dominates in stats to such a level to where I don't think Kefka can keep up. Even though Kefka lost by, letting themselves lose, Loki has been capable of fighting other spellcasters, and like I said, dispelling a lot of those spells. Since Loki can't really get his power absorbed, there's no reason why he can't just, whoop, here you go, Kefka, here's all my powers. He has a lot of he has the stones and stuff, which resist a lot of amplification. And with his mind reading and a lot of his mind scouring, he's just able to figure all of these things out. His illusions and his like telekinesis and all of these powers give him a lot more time to fight in this battle. Kefka really needs to play this very specifically, while I feel like Loki only needs a couple of hits to win. And like I said, with the illusions and the range advantage, Loki can just clone himself and go away and just set up stuff in the background that really puts Kefka on the back foot. And that's why Loki wins. Jury number 1, Wagon works.
Jury number 1, Rand. I'm gonna need to go off for a little bit to explain mine, so I will
Jury
let
number
Rand
1,
go
Rand.
first.
Okay, so I have no clue who wins this, so I'm gonna flip a coin.
Oh my gosh.
True jury. This is a true jury.
Kefka.
We probably shouldn't actually leave it a coin flip.
All right.
You sound
kinda
said that
had-
because you lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, I had to, because they were both so similar. They both can resist each other's powers and abilities. The only thing, again, I do agree with Josh that Loki has the power, but just everything else.
Go on, Wagon. Jury number 2.
All right, so before I actually get into my verdict, I want to say that like this has been a really fun discussion. I really loved this matchup for as long as I can remember, longer than even a lot of my other matchups that I, by all accounts, like more. So this was a real delight to be part of. And as for my verdict, oh my god, Loki takes it so fucking easily. He seems to be way more experienced, way more put together. And while they do seem to have like a lot of resistances, like tit for tat, Loki seems to have a lot more stuff that would be completely foreign to Kefka, and that's not even going into the sheer stat disparity, which I need to fucking truth nuke on this. So, starting with the whole multi-FF6 thing, no, we don't know how big the Esper world is, and at most we know that it definitely contains a planet and a sun, but assuming it's an entire universe is presumptuous at best. And on top of that, you can't really scale using Gilgamesh because Gilgamesh in FF6 is an Esper, which is very different from like which he is very much a native to the world of FF6, not the same character as everywhere else. Which, speaking of, none of the first FF6 games like take place in a shared universe. Like, I don't know where that came from. Like, for example, like I said, Gil in 6 is an Esper. In the after years, he's like a data clone. And then, on top of that, you can't exactly use X-Death scaling because, oh my god, X-Death is such a fraud, dude. Not only is, like, the crystals in FF5 only maintain, like, the one universe and are stated to be above the void, so, like no, you can't exactly use that as a thing. But on top of that, X-Death is a fucking braggart and a half. Like, his ego would absolutely hype up how powerful his abilities are more than they probably actually are. And like the actual multiverse structure you're probably thinking of is like the Rift, which would be inapplicable here. So like stat-wise, Kefka's looking at like Planet and Mach 20k at best, because apparently in one of the older books for FF6, it turns out that the planet that the game takes place on is smaller than Earth. So I don't know where it would get with like that kind of recalc material, but oh my god, like Kefka in the stat department is so cooked. But yeah, so like I'm very confident that Loki just wipes him here.
what's so funny, Wagon, is your entire argument. Uh, your entire explanation, you were stuttering so
Laggy,
much.
like lagging, not stuttering,
Yeah.
like laggy.
Oh my god, real.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Buddy.
well, fuck.
So
God
do it
fucking
again.
damn it.
So do it again.
The whole fucking thing?
The whole
Yeah,
thing.
the
You
whole
literally
thing.
just cleared up right
Okay.
now.
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm clear now, then yeah, I'll just TLDR. Loki's
We
more
heard it. It was
experienced,
just
Loki's better put together.
yeah. We heard it. It was
Okay.
just
Yeah,
kind
we
of.
heard
It
it.
was
So
just
as
kind
long
of.
as y'all got what I was going
I got the
for.
gist of it. And
Okay.
with
But like, yeah, basically, like, there's a lot of like faulty stuff with the stat line used, and like, and then beyond that, Loki just seems like he has more going for him.
All right, and the poll has been closed, and the winner is Loki.
with 72% to 27%.
Oh yeah, I knew I was going to be taking the L here. So
You put up a good fight. You put up a good fight.
I thought this was a really fun debate.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Oh,
just
yeah.
the interactions between these two characters alone is worth
Yeah.
it.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this would be such a fun way to see them like
Yeah.
interact. Like
Like-
stomp be damned. This would just be fun.
Like just not only just their abilities like countering and like attacking each other, but just the banter alone
Mhm.
Yeah,
between these two
100%.
characters.
Yeah.
Phew, my win streak continues. It only gets worse. Like the more and more the win streak gets up, it's the lower and lower I'll fall one day.
But yeah, one thing that I do so often surprise people with is like people even though like in the previous debate with this, it's like Kefka still lost, but people were pleasantly surprised with like, oh wait, Kefka can actually do that.
Yeah.
The final boss resistances go
yeah, like,
crazy.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
really interesting abilities that would make for a really fun like fight dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Loki probably has a lot of resistances. I want to research. I didn't have time to read like 700 comics. I think Loki has like combined. But I
Yeah.
managed to get through like a good chunk of them. So I'm sure Loki has a lot of resistances.
Hey, Loki has less comics than Mickey Mouse.
I mean, yeah, because Loki is not a Disney character who isn't a protagonist. But yeah, like, thank you for coming on, Josh.
Yeah, thanks,
It's good to
Josh.
have you. It's good to have you back again for Kefka.
Yeah, I would do a lot more of these debates, but my schedule does not permit.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're always welcome to come along, and you're always a pleasure to talk to.
Yeah.
Thank you to Wagon and Rand for turning up.
Yeah,
Nice to see
Glad
you
I
guys.
could make it,
Yeah.
even if I did turn into a fucking robot at the end, apparently.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I was a robot at the start, and thank you for emergency streamer. Actually, I know he's not on the jury, but we may as well get who he thinks wins quote, because I know you love complicated debates like these.
Why do I keep joining all these complicated debates every single time? I was
Why do you
I
keep
was
doing this
on
to yourself?
I was on Orsted versus Garland. That went places. SCP-173 versus Weeping Angels, and Netflix Dracula versus Philia from Twisted Wonderland.
I still have that gif. I still have that video of you dropping to your knees when I brought up the eclipse.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
honest-
need you. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Honestly, this is one of the big reasons why my second matchup was Sidon versus Undyne, because after the nightmare of research that was Starfire versus Blaze, I needed to do something simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's
It's a lot
fair.
of-
Because I did. It's like the like the other blogs like that people let me use their stuff for. I did. It's like they were helpful, but it's still there was a lot of things that they didn't take into that either little details that they missed or didn't take into account, and I had to do a lot of that stuff by myself, or they didn't cite where they got something, and I had to go hunting it down myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quote, whenever you're ready, I guess see us out. Because
All
you're
right.
the manager.
Thank y'all so much for coming in. Tune in next time for whatever cast we'll have next, because I honestly don't know.
It will probably be if the schedule doesn't change. It's gonna be.
I thought
Someone say
that,
something as I stall for time. It's gonna.
I thought Croat wanted to do Rudo versus the other guy.
Oh, I am too busy to do that.
Nah.
Oh, it's the next time is probably gonna be on the 9th. So next Wednesday will probably end up being Club Penguin versus Mundo Grato.
Oh,
Gato even.
Two very different casts.
With me debating for the Club Penguin protagonist.
All right. Does Saul
will
continue his win streak? Tune in.
Let me
Wednesday.
free. Let me lose.
So, I'm gonna bring out my A game to make sure you lose Quirk versus Zap.
Nuh-uh. Bye, everyone.
All right. See you
All right.
next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Have a good one, everyone.
Stream is over.
God, what a terrible cat. No. That was really
Oh
fun.
my god.
I will
Yeah, that was
say,
fun.
yeah, that was very
Yeah.
fun.